into the fullback position. Obviously, Moses Envoy at 5'8", partnering Ben Hunt this afternoon. Jacob Little at dummy half. So, Ben Hunt last season, incredible season, but at times it felt like he was on his own. No doubt you'd expecting those three gentlemen around him in the squad to really step up, particularly this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right, Mick, and I'm sure they will. As I said, we prepared really well over the off-season, and we got young Sullivan on the bench who's back today as well, so he'll get a fair bit of time. Moses will start there, but Sullivan will come on at some stage in the first half. And, you know, Sloan is a year older, he's matured a lot, so I'm sure they're going to play well, and they've worked really well together during the off-season.
Have you settled on a preferred six, one that will see more in rotation through the premiership year?
Probably after today, we will, Bonnie. Yeah, that's probably something for us today. Just how it pans out against a really quality side like South. Jack Bird can play six as well, and he's done some reps there in the pre-season as well, but he won't be right till round one. So it is one we've got to make a decision on. But the advantage we got there with the buys, we get a long preparation into round one after today as well. So today will give us a few answers, I'd imagine.
Well, I mean, we're talking about all the fancy players, the ones that catch in, but it gets done up front, doesn't it? And the battle today up against some world-class forwards. Yeah, their back row's as good as any in the competition, but that battle up front will be key.
Yeah, absolutely, Mick. I thought Blake Laurie was outstanding last week in his first hit out, so it was good for him to get that hit out before today. And Zane Musgrave is new to our club. He'll start there today as well with Murdoch, Masala and Sewer. So, yeah, we've got some really good forwards there. I'm sure they'll get the job done there today. And off the bench, we've got some quality as well with Molo, Woods and Kerr and those type of guys. So, whenever you play South, it's always a physical game, and it's a good preparation for us today.
Well, hopefully they give a little bit of space for Ben Hunt. He reached a career high last year, so what's the plan for your prominent playmaker in 2023?
Much of the same, Bonnie, hopefully. It depends, like Organ half. He's like Organ halfbacks. As he gets older, the game slows down a bit, and they just read things a lot quicker. And the thing about Ben, like all the great players, is physically he's in as good a condition as he's ever been. They knuckle down in the end of their careers and realise how big preparation and homework and all those things are. And Ben's getting better and better at that. And yeah, he's our captain and he's our marquee halfback, so he'll get the job done for us, I've got no doubt.
Looking to back up an unbelievable season last year. Well, thanks to you so much. Best of luck in the Charity Shield.
No worries, Bonnie.
Anthony Griffin there.
Okay, guys, see you later.
In budget. And he did mention it was hot. We should point out 36 degrees. We have pushed kick-off for this match back as well. So it wasn't just the World Club Challenge, but for Ben Hunt, I mean, he was better than we've ever seen him last year. Obviously, Anthony Griffin, his coach, wants another year just like that, but he's never had more responsibility on those shoulders of his. Do you think he has the quality around him to help him?
Well, look, I mean, time's going to tell. I mean, and for their success this year for the Dragons, as Hook just touched on, 12 and 12 last year, he needs some help. I mean, 26 tries is combined their whole spine last year. Ben Hunt had 21 of those. So he was a lone soldier. So for the Dragons to do anything in this competition, and we can go into the intricacies about what the forward pack can or can't do, etc. They need to score some points. Ben Hunt needs some help around him. Up against the side this afternoon, who they score points for fun. 63 tries, 6. So it was very evenly matched right across the four players for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. But Ben Hunt, I mean, if you take Ben Hunt out of that side, we've seen at different stages, how rudderless they do look. So really, really crucial for those players around him, Envoy and Little and Sloan, to get some reps in, particularly in the early stages, so they can build a combination, Mick, and then they can just build off the back of that.
Yeah, I'm really excited by the injection of Tyrell Sloan. Really unfortunate circumstances over the summer with Katie Ramsey and just a tenacious little player. But I think Tyrell Sloan at the back can bring another element to their attack. On the other side, they're coming up against some of the best and most creative instinct players in our game. Damien Cook out of dummy half needs a big season. Now, Damien is a real strike weapon when he's out attacking and running. As Hook said there, Anthony Griffin, I love the power game when they get momentum at the ruck. Cook needs to run and to take pressure off Cody Walker and this exquisite left edge that South Sydney have at the moment. Alex Johnson, 30 tries last year, and what Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker are able to do, it just continues to mesmerise us, and it all starts with little Cameron Murray in the middle. That combination between Cook and Murray is pivotal. We'll see him today with that late footwork, the quick, fast play the balls, and then all of a sudden, off they go. I can't wait to see South Sydney go this afternoon. Every time you watch South Sydney when they've got these big guns in, you're just so excited at what they're going to produce because it's so unpredictable.
With so much stability in and around that spine, as we just sort of touched on there, it allows somebody like Lachlan Ilias to be able to just not ease himself in his NRL career, but not attack it with so much pressure all over him. We just spoke about the pressure on Ben Hunt, obviously, at the other stage of his career, but it just allows Ilias, who I think is going to be a superb halfback
Mum, you can chuck
for a
this
long
in
period of time, with so many stars around. But as Mick just touched on there, I mean, you go through their team, 7 internationals in their starting 17, going into this game. So they've got a lot of experience. They haven't bought anyone in the off-season, so their cohesion, their connectivity between their teammates is, they know each other's game. They play so much football together, which means so much, particularly at early stage. You're just relying on those sort of, those nuances of understanding between your players, as opposed to the Dragons, who have to start from scratch and build that. They've got a new 9, they've got a new 1, they've got a new 6 at this stage. So really interesting and a big preparation for what's going in around there.
What's the realistic expectations for the Dragons?
Well, they need to improve dramatically. I think they need to do that physically, but Ben Hunt, as we've touched on,
They all got off eventually.
he needs help. He needs help. Frankie Little needs to be a point of difference out of dummy half. We haven't seen a lot of that in the Tigers, and look, I think it's a great opportunity for the Dragons. Let's just hope today that they have gone to Mudgee and pack the jerseys and just turn up the Mudgee races tomorrow.
Yeah, what do you think of Jeans? It is an exquisite weekend. The fans love it. They really make a trip off the
Well, they go as jeans, Corey, but then by half time you cut them off, mate.
Jorts.
Shorts.
Yeah, jorts. Excellent. All right, kick-off is next. It is the Rabbitohs and the Dragons in the time-honoured Charity Shield, the 40th edition in downtown Mudgee. You're watching.
Is there like a little backwards to that?
Those big biscuits and cookies that we use and they've got better have one of those at home. Better than other cookies.
What do you put in back to them?
Denied.
I'm telling you, we don't need 6 legs in the multi. Let's give it to 4 legs then. Team?
Lock and away.
Make group betting look easy with Sportsbet's Bet with Mates. Start a group and build a multi together. Only with Sportsbet.
You know the score. Stay in control, gamble responsibly.
The McValue Bundle at Macca's, a choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on?
At Harvey Norman, you can do it all with an Acer laptop designed on Intel Evo. Sleek and portable. To use this with free laptop with Intel Evo, only $1,198, save $195. For blazing fast Intel Evo performance powered by an Intel Core i7 processor, get this Acer Swift 3 for $1,495. Or step up to the versatile Acer Swift 5 with a full HD touchscreen and save $300. See more of the range now at Harvey Norman.
Oh, no. On the lounge. On the lounge.
You can quit wondering. The smartest SUV is a Skoda. The Skoda SUV range is award-winning. Plural. And it now comes with a 7-year warranty.
unforgettable sporting experience with Shell. Find incredible events. 20 grand in travel and $1,000 of free fuel. All to share with 3 friends. Visit the website now.
Do you make this for Mom every birthday?
Yes, she loves it.
Like jumper.
With Optus Call Translate, you can turn 2 languages into 1 conversation. Be part of the living network. It starts with yes.
Now at Harvey Norman, get 60 months interest-free from Latitude. That's no deposit, no interest with 60 approximately equal monthly payments. Shop our huge range at Harvey Norman. Everything you need for your home and your lifestyle. All the biggest brands and the latest technology. Take advantage of 60 months interest-free from Latitude. No deposit, no interest with 60 approximately equal monthly payments. $8.95 monthly service fee applies. Finance only available if you have or are approved for a participating Latitude credit card. Available now at Harvey Norman.
When you're in a I deserve a little treat kind of mood, you need iced coffee and you need it deluxe. Hazelnut, vanilla, or caramel. Make your day a cream on top kind of day with a McCafe Deluxe iced coffee.
Looking at the beautiful town of Mudgee in the central west of New South Wales. Glen Willow Stadium is the venue once again for the 40th running of the Charity Shield. Mudgee, very much the home of the Charity Shield these days. Since 2018, it has hosted St George, Illawarra and South Sydney, the most traditional of the pre-season clashes. They've been doing this since 1982, and the ledger stands dead even, 17 apiece with 5 draws. And no surprise, Glen Willow is chockers on this very warm Saturday afternoon. Cooper Croc, hello to you.
Afternoon, Daniel. Afternoon to everyone at home. There's no doubt this game is all about the team on your screen for me. They won last year, but South won 8 in a row, and there was a draw amongst the last 9 games of the Charity Shield. Think about what South's offer. Well, we know 5 straight prelim finals, but the Dragons have missed the finals for the last 4 years in a row. They're getting close, 15, 12, 11, 10. This year the Dragons push on, and they really need to play well this week in preparation for the start of the season.
Plenty of new faces at the Dragons in 2023. Not so much for South Sydney. This, what we see today, pretty much their best 13 that will start, you would imagine, in round 1. Jai Arrow moving back to the bench today. Jacob Host starts. That's a formidable outfit they're presenting this afternoon.
This squad's been together for a while, obviously. Jason Dimitri, his first year coaching last year, did a tremendous job. I love the combination, obviously, the star power of Latrell and Cody Walker combined for 43 try assists. What about the combination of Walker and Alex Johnson on the wing? And then you got Cook and Murray through the middle. So they do their damage through familiarity, and they breed a lot of that attacking success once they get over halfway.
You can see Blake Taft there in the 14 jersey. That might be something that becomes the norm in season 2023. Cody Nicarima moving on to the Dolphins. It looks like that is Blake Taft's position. Here they come. They're the away team today. The South Sydney Rabbitohs went out.
Well, du kör från
Preliminary finals. They've been a wonderful team these last few years. They've always had plenty of support wherever they go. And Latrell Mitchell, first game in South Sydney colours this season.
He was quiet last week with the All-Stars. Didn't play fullback. He played 5-8 moves with 7 different occasions. But in terms of this man playing for South Sydney, well, it's formidable because his percentage win rate is 75% when he's playing for South Sydney. He teamed up with his partner in crime here. And left side attack, particularly with Alex Johnson finishing all those plays, he's electric.
St George, Illawarra. Here they come. Jacob Jacob Little in Dragons colours in 2023. So much will revolve around this man, Ben Hunt. His 2022 could not have been much better. Part of the World Cup winning side. In fact, the starting dummy half clinched the winning try in Origin. Second in the Dally M. But still, all his exploits in club footy couldn't lift them to the finals.
As a team, they need to improve defensively, there's no doubt about that, but in terms of scoring points, slowing this man on your screen, I think he needs to combine with Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt, 21 try assists last year. He was a lone ranger when it comes to scoring points, but again, Simon Moses, Embley gets his start today at 5'8". Can they help and add to the Ben Hunt show?
It is in the mid-30s here in Murphy. It is stifling. There will be drinks breaks. James Hooper will tell us more in just a moment. But here we go. It's the Charity Shield. It's St George Illawarra against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And we're on our way. It's a bumper Super Saturday in the NRL pre-season. And it's Penrith versus St Helens next for the World Club Challenge, and then the Broncos and the Cowboys. But enjoy this to start the day. That was Isaac Thompson first to hit it up, followed up by Kieran Kalal-Matane. We'll play it back now for Damien Cook. Players like Cook and also Cody Walker signing extensions, so they're going to be at this club for a long, long time. To beat it to Tola. He's 26, really in his prime now. Tom Burgess. Almost, in fact, beyond the 40, closing in on halfway. Cam Murray with a bit of space to work with. Thought about the offload. It's a very efficient opening set from South. As it's Cody Walker now, putting with the ball. And a chase here from Johnston and also Isaiah Tass. Jacob Host there as well. And that is textbook stuff from South Sydney. They played Manly last week. Most of the stars not there, but Manly winning 30-28. St George Illawarra went down to St Helens in the Gong. So the 100,000 prize, that's long gone for these two clubs. But the Charity Shield is what they're playing for today. Zane Musgrove is the man who is about to play it after spending 3 years at the Tigers. As they work the short side, Ben Murdoch-Masilla, another new Dragon, with Jacob Little. In the 9 jersey, of course, Andrew McCulloch retiring during the year. There's an old Dragon, Blake Laurie. Put down by Burgess and Cook. So Hunt getting plenty of air and a fair bit of distance as well on this. And Johnston is back for South Sydney as we send it down to James Hooper. Hello, Jimmy.
G'day Dan, g'day Cooper, afternoon everybody. Look, it might be 36 degrees and scorching in the central west town of Mudgee of New South Wales, but that hasn't stopped the fans coming out in force for this Charity Shield. They've got the fold-out chairs, they've got the umbrellas. We are going to have drinks breaks because of these oppressive conditions, Dan, so we'll see them at the 20-minute mark and also the 60-minute mark.
Yeah, no one's debating the validity of that, that's for sure. As here's Murray at the line onto Walker. The tap on that was lovely, and that from Tass gives Johnston a little bit of space. Almost up to the 30 here on tackle number 5. With Host jumping in at dummy half. This is a touch discombobulated, but still the kick from young Elias. And Tyrell's phone given no chance. Well, I'll tell you what, they're straight into the groove, the Bunnies.
Yeah, finding their rhythm, both teams actually. The Dragons fighting off their own try line, but nice couple of 2 kicks. First one from Walker and that one Elias. Little clunky as you called it for the Trill to start with, but high percentage plays, and that's one area they need to improve this year, South Sydney. It's their long-range kicking game. Build pressure on the opposition, and they've started well here.
So the Dragons again pinned here. Of course, they're doing this today. Paulie Burns that was hitting it up, right up by Murdoch-Masilla. Without DeBellin, Bird, Ramsey and Almone, and there's an error there, so South Sydney will get the ball back here on halfway.
There's one thing you don't want to do against South Sydney in any game of football, is give them early possession in attacking zones. Cody Walker, the Latrell Mitchell just fall into rhythm here. They'll set up shape, and it's the one thing that they've based their season on. The ability to score points and being effective every time they get the ball in the attacking system. So here come the Dragons. They need to improve defensively, but that left side, watch for this here.
A little bit of a breeze here in Mudgee as Ilias feeds the scrum. There's Latrell.
went for a run. Only 3 runs last week in Rotorua. Oh, Tom Burgess met heavily. Blake Laurie all over him. Little and Musgrove chiming in also. A smile on the face of Tom Burgess. His season ended against the Roosters last year. He was wiped out of the rest of South Sydney's games. Now it comes to Murray. Passing to Mitchell. Now it comes to Tass. 2 on 3, so Tass just takes the tackle on the 20. Just again jumping into dummy half. Cook at first receiver. And that, just the setup play here as it comes to the last. There's Mitchell on the left. And that's where it goes. Mitchell. Oh, he gave it to Host. Host couldn't hang on to it. Doubtful Host could have got through anyway. So the Dragons survived their first real defensive test.
Dished in from South Sydney, got that deep to left edge, but no Cody Walker involved in that whole set. It was Mitchell with 2 touches. And a little play here to the back rower, but couldn't catch it. So South Sydney trying to mix it up. They must have been moving Cody Walker to the right-hand side. If Ben Hunt goes for an early kick.
Oof, he's got some on that. Now that is that a 20-40?
Very good.
Is that a 20-40? That is an enormous kick.
That's a hell of a play from the captain halfback, because you think about the last set, Mitchell had 2 touches, and Mitchell, we get a shot of this, is way out of position.
No, just outside the 20 there.
Does it go 40-20?
Oh, just short. Well, does get them at least better field position.
Anthony Griffin said that Ben Hunt has seen the game much more clearly now in his older age, but that's a hell of a play early on this contest. To see Latrell out of position, he got an early kick away.
The one lucky there from Hunt, but South Sydney now with Kalamatangi. There's the record, 17-17, 5 draws. One of the quirks, all 5 draws have favoured Souths. They've been the holders of the shield when those draws have occurred, so they've retained it. So it goes back before the merger between St George and Illawarra. Mudgee hosting this game for the 6th time. As Cook getting it on.
Oh! Yes!
Burgess scores the first try. So Cam Murray at the last pass. Tom Burgess slamming it down. And South Sydney go 80 metres in a hurry to open the scoring.
We're just talking about the old firm again, the combination. Straight through the heartbeat of the Dragons' defence. Damien Cook gets out quick. Nice tempo play and picks up Cam Murray just pushing a hole, and Burgess follows through. But this is South Sydney 101. If it's not Walker and Latrell, it's these 2 guys through the middle third of the field. Cook speed, Murray support, and Burgess just turns up in the right place at the right time. But that's a beautiful combination from the 9 and 13, straight through the heart of the defence of the Dragons.
He's become a weapon with his try-scoring prowess. He scored 4 at the World Cup. Jason and Mitchell are pretty happy with that. So Burgess is now, Tom played the most of any of the Burgess boys in the NRL, bringing up 200 last year. And Mitchell taps it inside the right, upright. So it's South Sydney 6, St George, Illawarra nil. Down to James Hooper.
The Bunnies big guns combining brilliantly there as we see Damien Cook out of dummy half, left hand. Cam Murray, we know how dangerous he is through the middle of the field. And Tom Burgess suiting up for his 11th season now with the Rabbits. He's played 210 games in the red and green. Of course, he represented England at the World Cup, and crucially, he missed that preliminary final against Penrith last year when he was suspended.
Indeed, they could have used him. I believe this is the last year of his current contract, so that will be interesting how that plays out through the year. So South's on the board. That's Lachlan Ilias. To Vita Totola. Cam Murray. Back in the middle. His exploits on the edge were there for everyone to see in the World Cup. In fact, he's in the team of the World Cup tournament. Put him anywhere, he's going to give you in your team.
Plenty. Best host. Former Dragon. 5 years in the club. There's Murray catching it up simply with this. Below the tummy. Wanted to get it onto Campbell Gray, but chopped down there. There's Cook weaving. Now Williams working the short side. There's Campbell Gray. South Sydney easily make it over halfway to 10 metres. Not a problem for the Red and Greens. There's going to be Walker to kick. End over end. Lots of height on it. Wind doesn't do all that much. There's Sloan. Just happy to distribute here to Lomax. And all over him is Murray. With Kalama Tungy as well. Well, they're getting the simple things right, aren't they, South? Completion rate 4 from 4. Ravalawa there playing it. This is the former Rabbitoh, Jaden Stewart. Played a grand final for South. Blake Laurie. Over 100 metres last week against St Helens. And we finished the last year. Plenty of big metre games as they crossed the 100 and the halfway line. There's Blake Laurie. 26 now. Zane Musgrave. He played the All-Stars game last week. 6 again here for the Dragons. You heard that sound, so that gives them their best field position so far on Lomax. But they Graham. And a loose ball for Hunt. Musgrave. Running to Williams. Alama Tungy and Murray in there. There's an offload. Little does well to keep it. Gets back on his feet. Escapes Burgess, but not Ilias. So 2 tackles left. It's fired out to Hunt. On it goes to end by the 5'8", and he has to concede. He and Sue are there, getting in each other's road. Last play. Back to the open side. Again, a little disjointed. Hunt's kick. Oh, great catch, Campbell Graham. Immense pressure from Lomax, but Graham comes down with it.
Yeah, multiple sets then. The Dragons, that was a poor set. Rose Enby went out the right-hand side. James Stewart about 1.5 metres in front when he wanted the ball play. It was up to Ben Hunt to come up with a kick. So they got the repeat set. They had to come up with something better than that. But it was just poor timing on the edge for Stewart and that combination of Moses Enby.
Here's one of the questions that needs to be answered. Talatau unknown. Doesn't look like we're going to see him anytime soon. So that number 6 role. Enby did not play there all last year. Played number 9, played fullback, played centre, played off the bench, but has played plenty of halves years gone by. Jaden Sullivan we'll see him come into the game.
Said that in the interview pre-game that Jaden Sullivan got plenty of time today. We'll see how that combination works.
Oh, there's a bit of spot.
Oh!
He gets it on. Johnston, not the corner.
Yes!
Gets it on to Walker. While Cody Walker can score tries, and he goes under the post. And South Sydney just punish the Dragons. Punish them after that 4 set, 10 points to nothing.
You call it that 4 set for the Dragons. They give away penalty, the drill kicks it out. And that is silky smooth ball playing from Cody Walker. Have a look at this. Out the back of shape. Nice straight flat pass to Tass. Who hits inside Ravalawa. And look at this. Combination work in the backfield. The man who started, Cody Walker, with the pass, ends up finishing it. But that is repetition, just training run at its best. They don't miss a beat, South Sydney. Their ability to fall into shape, it's predictable, you can see it going, but the execution piece is outstanding. Top shelf.
Sewell, the man who was racing in, and the gap opening up for Isaiah Tass, who was very good his first season with South last year, the boy from Mackay. Cody Walker. He scored 82 tries in the top grade. He's almost at 1 every 2 games. It's an outstanding strike rate for a man who piles on try assists. The Bunnies now out to a 12-0 lead after 13 minutes. James Hoover. The
Bunnies big guns on fire early down. And this man, Cody Walker, now 33 years of age, he inked a 2-year deal over the course of the summer. And the Bunnies faithful, weren't they happy to see it? It brings, along with those statistics that you've just outlined, he will still be wearing the red and green, age 35, and getting better with age at this point.
Indeed. And remember, he started late. I don't think he made his debut until 26 in the NRL, and got his coach's ticket over the summer, so he's got the next stage of his life planned out. Cody Walker. And he's going to keep doing comparisons to Cliff Lyons. The longer he goes on, the more ageless he becomes. And what's happened here? It's out on the full. It's smart play there. Isaac Thompson was out on the wing. Tyrell Sloan making the error.
We spoke about it before, when Souths smell blood in the water, they sense it. This is not the way you want to play against them. Giving them a good possession, attacking your own goal line. Just sit back and watch this set from South Sydney. Just watch the rhythm they fall into. It'll be Damien Cook into Cam Murray, and then it's Latrell and Cody at the back of that.
So just pumping it up here is Burgess. Their tries. Burgess the first, Cody Walker moments ago. And that is loose. Oh, Cooper.
There we go.
Cooper.
Nice, fluent, smooth, good ball attack there from South Sydney. Damien Cook. Sorry about it, Damien, just cursed his start.
You see, oh, geez, he's not happy about that. He might have a little case, actually. He's seen a lot of forward passes out of dummy half during this trial period. Not exactly delighted. Beautiful stand here in Mudgee. I'm getting a little bit of relief at the moment with just a cloud blocking the sun momentarily. Blake Ryan bustled into the ground. And we'll have a bench play for about 5.5 minutes. Billy Burns goes to the Penrith club. Now a sprightly run from Jacob Little. 7 years in the West Tigers, 73 first-grade games. Mbai in a dummy half. Hunt providing for Murdoch Masilla. Those 2 seasons spent at the Warriors. Lennox. Hunt going sideways. Across to Mbai. The cut out to Sewer. Sewer, a hard runner, but shot down. Johnston. Bringing Sewer down. Now, last year, this could be a contest. Could be a contest. No, it's Isaac Thompson. Very tidy catch. The big day for him as Ryan rides the bump. Been unavailable for the start of the season. Jackson Powell, of course, gone to the Roosters. So Isaac Thompson, a late bloomer, gave up on rugby league. Isaac and find himself round one side against Cronulla. There's now Walker alone.
Oh!
Here comes out for Cass as the defence sweeps across. Johnston over halfway. Post. Oh, lost it. Well, after going 6 from 6, the Bunnies, they've now failed to complete their last 2 sets.
It's a good start, South Sydney, as you call with the stat standard. The Dragons at the moment, they're very clunky in attack. Moses Sealy looked like he had a good run. That was his first touch. The only thing they look like scoring at the moment is the Ben Hunt kick to Lomax with his aerial ability. So, we talk about the combinations of South Sydney, like the old firm gelling. Well, Diddle's new to the club, Ben Hunt's there, Sloan's been in down the side, Mozambique gets the first chance. So, the spine of the Dragons really need to get some repetitions in, particularly in today's game and a training for them. It'll be in sync for round 1. They've got the bye actually round 1, so it'll be round 2 for the Dragons.
It's a funny start of the season, isn't it? They don't play for 22 days. When they do take to the field, it'll be the last game of round number 2, a Sunday night at home Cobra against the Gold Coast. So 15 games of NRL before we see the red V. Here's Musgrove. 12 days away the premiership. Hunt. Swiveled around by Cook. Sharp play the ball, allows Little to run. And bringing Murdoch Masilla into it. And the familiar Murdoch Masilla offload. Slow now on. Sewer engaging with Tass. Tass does enough. Just a setup it seems here. Host on a second attempt on Blake Laurie. What they got here in this last tackle. Then by a first receiver. On the Sewer. Gets a result. Gets a result there. It wasn't the most challenging kick it would seem, but just it could be grabbed by, I was saying, Taz didn't come off the boot probably the way Sewer was thinking, but I'm hoping. But they get it back.
Ineffective play down the short side fifth play. Does anybody track anything for Sewer? They've come with a kick, but they've got lucky with their hands to Taz. Dragons in his first 20 matches, their attack is not fluent. It's just not consistent enough for them to say they're going to be scoring points in the start.
Came to a slower than Dragons down on the set. Scoring right. Approaches first, drinks break. Set by second, try a little slip. Takes on Walker, Walker then Selby gets it from Host. Here from Burns. Right into the game there. And second half. Sully. One of the hardest running centres in the game. Little. Sent by Hunt. Cut out ball. Slow. Lomax early. Freeman gets it down in the corner.
This is a skill execution on the end of the game. Edmund does a tremendous job against the defenders. Ilias fights in and just that Lomax. All he had to do was catch and pass and give Frino a chance, but the referee sideline referees called forward and got the call right. But Ben Hunt, great beat up work. Lomax had to jump in the back of that and execute that pass.
Been on for a while, it seems. Still just 23. This works great for the Magic.
Which one? All of the games? The last one we're going to 7 o'clock, which is the Broncos and Cowboys. So don't get comfortable.
Satisfying first hit from Tom Burgess. See, here comes Kalama Tucky, popping it to Ilias, but Lomax was all over it, and Ilias.
Don't forget we're going to the Dolphins tomorrow. You just have a habit of forgetting things.
Don't be fooled by the cloud cover, he's still stifling, mid-30s in Mudgee. Ilias now. Needs all the help he can get him. V8. Edward Bryant showing strength. Lomax barely to the 10. Zach Yacker for the Dragons. Leno charges out. We hoping to get a lot more football in 2023. Limited last year by injury, limited the year before by a few suspensions. There's a strong run from Musgrove. They've got out of it here, the Dragons. Rolled the sleeves up. I guess they're waiting for a breaking play for this break. They come down here for Sewer, and he slips past, then gets it on. Sloan with the kick that needs to sit up, and it's just tapped on by Johnston. Well, that's a very good end of the set there for the Dragons, considering they were in quicksand.
It was a set that started with Tyrell Sloan on his back, quickly ended up with a try-scoring opportunity. This is where they look dangerous. Early ball to Sewer, Moses Sewer on the outside of support play and offload. The skill of Tyrell Sloan to catch and kick in one moment. And Alex Johnson to save the day.
A bit of speed there from Moses Enby. He's still got plenty in the legs there. As that ends the first period of this game, with the South Sydney top liners opening up this 12 points to nil lead. Tyrell Sloan. It's going to be a big year for him, you'd think, with that fullback spot up for grabs. Rabbitohs, that is a brutal start of the season. Cronulla at Cronulla. Penrith at Penrith. Roosters at Stadium. You know that's going to be a big event. And then it continues on with Manly, and all of a sudden Manly looks like they could be an imposing team. That's of course if trial form counts, but boy, they were good last night. And then Melbourne in around 5, that's got to be as tough as it gets.
The first 3 all the way from home too, so that is basically outside of Manly. That's the top 8 right there. They're 4 of the top 8 from last year. And imagine they've got history against all those teams, Panthers, prelim final, grand final, against the Roosters. We talked about that last 2 games and won the regular season and won the finals last year. Then obviously the Storm as well. So and the Dragons are first 5. Well, we spoke about earlier, they're the ones that miss out on round 1. And their fans and members don't get to see it until the Titans on Sunday afternoon of round 2. And they've got the Broncos, Sharks, and the new team, the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's not a savage start with the draw. If they're good enough, they could get off to a decent start. Cronulla, the only team in that bunch that made the top 8 last year. So it'll be a light dropout to get play back underway here. Yes, you can see plenty of big hats and lots of slip-slop slapping. That big rain forecast. And in fact, we're getting close to that period now, so we might get a thunderstorm sooner rather than later. Now, Mitchell was very good at this last year. My word, that's got some distance on it. Lomax parrying it back. That's just about the perfect line dropout in that he gives their chasers a chance, but still gets enough distance to force the Dragons to burn a couple of tackles to get up to the 10. Enby on the angle. That's good pass right over. Oh, Johnston pummels him over the sideline. Ravalawa getting some pats on the back here, but it's going up as no try.
Alex Johnston gets a lot of raps for his try-scoring ability, but this is very good defensive play from the winger. Quick play the ball. Moses Enby was coming. And just look at the way that Alex Johnson defends 2 players. One, Moses Suli, gets off and gets good body contact on Ravalawa. He stays in, he stepped out early.
Oh, he stepped out, yeah.
But Johnston gets across, makes a good tackle.
That's out. That's planted. Probably a better result for the Dragons. We don't think Ravalawa got it down, so it becomes an attempt to play the ball for South, not 20-metre tap, 7 tackles.
And here this afternoon, the Dragons need quicker playables. That said, he got a couple of quick ones, and Moses Enby was over the advantage line after Ben Hunt giving the ball. Johnson in with everything, but that's the way the Dragons need to play. Quicker play the balls, and then get the ball to Moses Sewell or Zach Lomax on the outside.
Bundled out, and the ball came out, so he didn't play it on the out. Sydney hours changes start to come into this contest. They're coming, staying in the game. John Arrow swarmed in upon. Their players missing, they sell.
Dad, shut the door!
They would be, certainly Harbilly and probably Seller as well, would be in the starting 17 for round 1 if they were available. Other than that, it's pretty much full strength. Here's a kick from Walker. Now Johnston puts the foot down. The awkward bounce. But Sloan doesn't panic and then evades. Maybe no other into the game. He's
That's stop supporting Dragons. Stop supporting Dragons.
Where's my golf? Oh, ain't that good? Just go on, go to the pedal.
Here's Arrow's back for another season. And gets an offload. Hustle. This is Josh Kerr.
Moses Enlow in the dummy half with Jaden Sullivan in the 5-8 position for the Dragons.
Here's Sullivan now, working away to Sewer. Sewer. And he put down to the Dogs out. Tass is on that ball, that was Sewer, but Tass cleaning up the mess. Last tackle, punt, trying to keep the belly of the ball here, get one of these wobblers happening. They've got an easy one. Oh, Thompson does well. Second good catch from him this afternoon. Campbell Bryant under Mitchell. That's his second run for the day. Thompson, great scoring. They do against the Warriors on the Sunshine Coast. Hadn't played in 5 years, Coop. And his mate Harmay Seller actually talked him back into it.
You get lost, get out of here.
Back in the first grade.
Coach,
in the first grade, good for him. Up top, Frank Mola. 16, Jacob Host. Starting the game. The ball. Oh, Sloan, he went up in a manner he probably didn't need to. But it's a knock on. Went up above them, but he didn't probably have to put so much leap onto that. Now, another chance for South, their first in a little while.
The athleticism to get up. He caught it right. He jumped so high, it was a bit of hang time, and obviously didn't catch the ball where he wanted to. Now, that's the part where Tyrell Sloan needs to improve. I think we can see the attacking brilliance in his game, but fullbacks these days need to be consistent under the high ball, they need to carry the ball hard and tough, but also marshal the defence. If the Dragons can improve this year, Tyrell Sloan's going to have to be the main man to dominate defensively.
Yes!
That is simple for Latrell Mitchell. Off the scrum, Souths with their third. That's concerning.
This was way too easy for South Sydney to try and Mitchell and David Cook. Have a look at this. David Cook at the back of the scrum, and he's gone before even any Dragons player reacts. And I dare say that is Tyrell Sloan's position.
Shut the hell up, you ain't been
Aaron Woods doesn't go. Ben Hurley can't get that. Ben Hunt gets tapped in, and that is the speed of David Cook, but that is more reaction from the Dragons forwards, and particularly Tyrell Sloan playing defending a block on the scrum.
Latrell Mitchell crossing. Just his third run. 25 years of age now, Latrell. 20 try assists last year. It was here actually, he played for South for the first time. His first touch was a try assist 2 years ago now. Mitchell, you see the cloud starting to make a real impression. Mitchell's goal makes it 18 points to nil. James Hooper.
And he's a crowd favourite in Central Western New South Wales. In Budgie, yeah, they have loved the fact that Mitchell has powered over. I must say, watching him in the warm-up, we often say it with Latrell, but he's bitter at the moment than possibly we have ever seen him. Now, part of the reasoning behind that, when his old coach Wayne Bennett was in charge of the Bunnies, he didn't have to do the wrestling, the elite pass from that element of training. This time around, over the course of this off-season, he's been wrestling with Sammy Burgess. He looks in tip-top shape.
That's good. See, engineers in the World Cup, and there's a penalty here. That's a high tackle. It's going to put them another precarious position.
I feel for Sam Burgess because I've seen Latrell Mitchell wrestle, and he would throw you off every wall in the wrestling arena the way that he can manhandle just
Oh,
that
please.
ball. Yeah, he's scary when it comes to the wrestle, mate. So there's no doubt that that side of it, as he's missed the kick and has he found touch? Yes, he has.
Yes, it's a great result. So Sam's going to be listening to this and he's going to take that as a challenge as an affront. Just, by the way, there's some storm activity a little north of here. Looks like it's going to hit Gold Long, which is about 30 kilometres up the road. But there's absolute thumper on the way. That's west at the moment, but we're coming towards here. So we'll see if that makes an impression before full time.
No, what is up, everybody?
It's going to blow away, but who knows? Now, David Morale.
Just give me one sec. Guys, just give me one sec. I'm gonna put that there for a bit. Yes!
It's critical. It's too good. It's South Sydney with their hands, it would seem, on this charity shield.
Yeah, outstanding play from South Sydney. This time, it's not Mitchell or Cody Walker. Guns and Lachlan Elias. Now, South have only had 2 tackles in the opposition 20-metre zone, and they've scored 4 tries. That's how effective they are. Look at this, opening bench line. The defence of the Dragons comes in, and Elias spots it, plays the leg speed, and Cam Murray back inside. That's done. That's in the backfield, and Joao finishes, but great reaction there from Lachlan Ellis. He had every intention of playing at the back to Cody Walker. Once the defence from the inside of the Dragons gave him the cue to play back inside, Cam Murray was the go-to it. Murray finished it.
So, a 4th try. Ilias. Headlines were made when, of course, he was yanked from that game against the Dragons down in Wollongong, but the truth is, though, being specked right across the park. Most the retro to this day says it was the right call, but apart from that, a very good first full season, 26 games, and it didn't seem to be too big for him to stage.
Watch this kick over. He's very solid, at least his first year. With the general playing kick up, allowed Cody Walker to try to do that thing, but there's one thing that he needs to improve. He's got that combination of the lower tongue and the right edge, but a little bit more effectiveness in terms of scoring tries, running the ball, and creating for his other players, because does a great job setting up, but can he become more a threat around the middle of the ruck?
It's of course one of the most prolific, one of the great halfbacks, Cooper Crop. 2040, yeah. Played for Greece at the last World Cup. 22 years of age. Isaiah Tass might have changed sides here. On South Sydney's left. There goes to the right. David Noah there. Still just 19. 14 first-grade games to his name. Alama Tami. Wait for Thomas in the UK. Arrow first receiver. Walker. Slipping past Stewart. Tell you what, they might have done a rain dance in the north of England because I'm being told thunderstorm activity, a big possibility around the Penrith area. Oh, through the hands, and the confidence is gone at the moment for Tyrell Sloan. That was the easiest one, and just nowhere near.
As you spoke about it earlier, as fullbacks need to do high percentage plays and take these catches, no matter how difficult they are. One, to go compete and fight in every play, but 2, particularly when playing South Sydney, do not give them attacking ball. And there's another scrum. We just saw Latrell score a try off damage, put out Golden off the back of the scrum. And he goes again for South Sydney, what they show. Trying to get Alex Johnson to the left-hand corner through big left shift.
Yes! Yeah! Oh.
We're used to dynamic passes from Cody Walker. It was a beauty, but Johnston, is he desperately trying to fling it in? Well, now, has that come off slow, and did he play it? It's come off slow, but...
Tell you what I love about the Walker-Johnston combination is when they think, Walker particularly, when you think he can't throw a pass, he is all in, chips in, and he goes for it. And all he comes up with it, and you've got the finishing ability of Alex Johnston. Why not? He went within a whisker there and put the ball down.
Probably the fair decision. Yes, slow. Touch it, but there's no way to play for that ball as the shift comes out here. The one next. To Kerr. Kerr's got nowhere to go. So just 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. A dominant first half from South. Embar. This is halfway, but this is the last tackle. Sullivan a dummy half for the Ben Hunt kick. And Mitchell there, he had that's Josh Kerr all over him. But South Sydney, 13 from 16 now their completion, so they had a couple in a row there for a perfect start, but they've cleaned it up again. Chuck Mitchell has now lost a whopping 51 kilos from his peak a few years ago. Arrow tearing them up the middle. Now Walker is the last tackle, so goes to the air again. This time it's going to be right below 100. That's an easy one. No real pressure. Walker following through on the kick, getting a bit of help. That's in the foreground there. Josiah Kawakami, a centre for Sass, in the 18 jersey. So this is just the first half of a big day here on Fox League. Penrith and St Helens is on after this, the World Club Challenge, and then the Broncos and the Cowboys. Late start, 7:55 Queensland time and 8:55 Eastern. They're fully online here on Fox. Sullivan distributed. Stewart getting it on. Sully threatening. He was allowed to do that. He hadn't been tackled. So Stewart could just sort it over halfway. It's gone backwards as Woods on the punt. This is all on tackle 4. And out of all that, they've passed it near the 30. Stewart there, being treated. Hunt's kick here. Here comes Lomax. No risk from Mitchell.
The Dragons look the best when they sort of offload the ball and promote it, particularly to this right-hand side through Stewart and Moses Sully. They try to play the power game through the middle third forwards, but don't get the power, don't get the quick play the balls, misstanding screen to do the damage. So for Anthony Griffin needs to sort of tinker around with his forward pack to get more momentum for the halfback, because outside of going to Stewart and Stewart on this right hand, this is the contact that they're checking for James Stewart, but they need to develop quicker play balls through the middle third.
All of it inside the 20 that South Sydney had at the other end. Nothing to show for it so far. Crank Nolo. Mostly a starting prop last year. Embar's going to keep it going down the short side. Bernard Masilla. Oh, he's strong, isn't he, Campbell Graham? Hunt has to wait for him. Knows himself. Nice football. It's fine. Molo for a flat-footed Woods. That's tackle number 4. Flat, going without it is Josh Kerr, and there's a penalty here. So 6 more tackles coming the way of the Red V.
At the moment, it's all pressure passes in the line. The offload comes and Ben Hunt does some nice footwork back to the left-hand side, but there's just no movement, no penetration past the inside shoulder of the South Sydney defence. So Ben Hunt is trying here, but he needs to get his players in the right spot. Get some quick to play the balls for him to get over the advantage line.
Everyone just flipped over, watching the cricket.
Watch the cricket.
So that score tells the story. Dominant display from South. Moving on, Sullivan. And swinging on the inside, went to Sewer on the outside. Very impressive defensive display from South. The Dragons look concerning so far. Sullivan. Tony called offside, but not involved here. Is Kerr on tackle number 4. 2 minutes to go in this first half. South looking to keep a clean sheet. Woods. Slides cut out. Burkasilla and Fiona puts it down.
Good defence from South Sydney. Been under pressure on the try line numerous times. 14 times in attack inside South 20 metre zone. And no points. South Sydney movement defensively is really spot on in this first half. Particularly this right edge. I like what they've done. If there was an area of the South Sydney's defence last year that needed improvement, was the right edge. They left way too many tries compared to the left. And the first half here, Jody Shield, they've really stood up and put the Dragons away.
Look at that. 26 tackles to 13 in the opposition half. But that's South Sydney's hallmark. They are so efficient in attack. So slick, so crisp. Eventually playing it. So 4 tries to nothing. John Burgess, Jai Arrow, Cody Walker, and Latrell Mitchell. There's more tries than tackles in the opposition 20. Billis. Coming back in field. Jack Mitchell. It's through Embar. Not through Bolo Frank. Or Michael. We'll see him later. There's a high tackle with 18 seconds to go. Well, what do they do here? They practice a play that they might need at some stage during the season with only one play to work with, or do they just take the 2 and have a breather in these stifling conditions?
Practice. Come up with one of those plays. They look like they're getting ready for any shape.
I think they've had enough. I think we've said we've burned 40 minutes of energy. That's enough. We're going to have to start checking record books here. Biggest charity shield margins. Because they're usually pretty close games. (30-6). 48-16 2 years ago. South Sydney thumping the Dragons. So 32 points the biggest margin. But obviously a lot of these players who are about to exit the field will exit the game. Mitchell 4 from 4 today. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. If it holds, yes it does. A thoroughly dominant 40 minutes from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The signs for them are good. Dragons fans might not be all that encouraged by what they have seen in this first half. It's the Bunnies 26, Dragons 0. Down to Jameson.
Mitchell, 4 tries for the Bunnies in the opening half. How did you see that?
Yeah, mate, just sticking our processes. Pre-season's worked really hard on ourselves, and we wanted to be in the first sort of trial matches leading in, and I'm not what I see.
Talk us through the try, the trick play off the back of the scrum.
Which one?
Cookie's pass.
Cooey's got an ingrown toenail, so he can only run right side, see, so, but no, other than that, man, it's just his speed just kills, so you can't train that, and yeah, just draw the defender in, and all I have to do is just put it over.
Has it been good to be out in Central West New South Wales for the week?
Yeah, mate, we've got a bit of country here, got Sydney follows out of their comfort zone, so I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, the weather's turned it on.
You get a break now, or?
Nah, mate, I'll keep going.
Thanks, appreciate your time, best luck.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Latrell. We'll see how much longer it goes for Latrell Mitchell. 40 minutes gone. Pretty satisfied South Sydney. Sam Burgess all over his brother, probably talking about that try. Vonnie and Cooper and Nick on the other side of this. It's a big day here on Fox League. We'll have more after this. You're watching the Charity Shield live on Fox League.
Crispy, juicy chicken McNuggets are delicious with friends, particularly with honey Cajun sauce. That's for close friends only.
At Harvey Norman, you can do it all with excellent design Intel Evo. Sleek and portable, the instant free only $198, save $195. For blazing fast Intel Evo performance powered by an Intel Core i7 processor, get this accessory free for $1,495. Or step up to the versatile Asus 5 with a full HD touchscreen and save $300. See more of the range now.
Feel an unbeatable sporting experience with Shell. 5 incredible events. 20 grand in travel and $1,000 of free fuel. All to share with 3 friends. Visit the website now.
Before making a trade, check out Plus Insights, the new trading tool on Plus 500. Honestly, it's like choosing a seat on a flight. Plus, having crucial information, speed.
I'm using the low floor.
Can I get as far as possible?
Exclusive on Plus 500, Plus Insights. Turn data into trading insights. Plus 500. It's trading. With the Plus. Download it.
Feel an unbeatable sporting experience with Shell. 5 incredible events. 20 grand in travel and $1,000 of free fuel. All to share with 3 friends. Visit the website now.
Want to get closer to the magic of the FIFA Women's World Cup? Grab your chance to win a seat at the final. Buy and scan specially marked Coca-Cola products to win match tickets or Coca-Cola merchandise instantly every day.
At Harvey Norman, you can do it all with an Acer laptop designed on Intel Evo. Sleek and portable, the Acer Swift 3 laptop with Intel Evo, only $1,198, save $195. For blazing fast Intel Evo performance powered by an Intel Core i7 processor, get this Acer Swift 3 for $1,495. Or step up to the versatile Acer Swift 5 with a full HD touchscreen and save $300. See more of the range now at Harvey Norman.
WWE Royal Rumble.
This program brought to you by Macca's. Scored 40 chicken McNuggets with Cajun sauce. How's that? And Harvey Norman. Shop in store or online.
Welcome back to your extra halftime highlights. We've got Mark Lennis and Corey Parker. The Rabbitohs romped in 4 tries in the first half. Disappointingly, the Dragons have got nothing to show from that first 40 minutes in Mudgee. They've had more ball percentage-wise, oddly, for St George Illawarra, but of course the Rabbitohs far better with it. Are we expecting this to be a bit of a blowout for the Dragons get back here?
It will depend on Jason Demetriou and how long he leaves these South Sydney guns out, because they're all firing at the moment. It's been a tremendous half, and we haven't expected anything less, have we, from Damien Cook out of dummy half. We spoke pre-game. When Damien Cook is active out of dummy half and cashes in on what those big forwards from South Sydney can do, then it's this man, Cameron Murray and Cody Walker that get the benefits. And the ball playing and the ball movement and the execution from South Sydney, Corey's been absolutely scintillating for a trial game.
Well, for a trial game, you're spot on. We've come to expect South Sydney, particularly down that left-hand side, to really exploit, but really, really disappointing from the Dragons. I mean, let's be honest. We spoke to Anthony Griffin in the pre-game. They've had all summer to work on some areas that they think was going to be certainly needed this year. Some of their defensive errors or lapses or misreads have been appalling, particularly the one off the scrum and through that middle third. Cook's just joining with them along with Murray. It's been a great half from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They could really blow this apart if Jason Demetriou leaves his strongest side out there. But for the Dragons, they need to go out there and really sort of go after that game. Come up with something, something that they can hold on to for the next 20-odd days before they come into a real game.
The smarts of South Sydney's ball players, particularly down that left-hand side, smell that there's been a change over for something from the Dragons. If you haven't noticed, they've moved Zach Lomax from the left side over to the right-hand side, who had a really good combination with Ravalawa. They look completely disjointed. Moses Suli next to Ravalawa, they're getting pulled apart down there, and that's the left-hand side of South Sydney where they love to attack. They could be up by 30, 36 points South if they had executed a few more, but some worrying signs for the Dragons early.
Dragons delivering some untimely errors, and of course Tyrell Sloan had a few moments he'd like to have another go at. But we heard from Latrell Mitchell talking to James Hooper on the stroke of half-time. He's so commanding with the ball, and he said he likes what he sees out there. He's feeling fresh. He wants more game time. He's got a big appetite to get as much footy under his belt before we start playing for premiership points. So much hinges off Latrell. He's such a primary focus, but it doesn't matter how much homework you do on him, you can't stop him.
He's the barometer of South Sydney. He really is. As much as they rely on Tola and Burgess carrying the foot through the middle, when Latrell Mitchell's on, when he has that energy and presence about him, the impact that great players have on their teammates is phenomenal. And it's what Latrell has on Cody Walker. We saw how disjointed Cody was at the start of the season last year without Latrell in his back pocket. Well, he's back, he's smiling, he looks tremendous, he looks fit, and South Sydney flying early.
Well, the storm clouds are brewing over Glen Willow Oval. St George Illawarra, they need to start generating some power. They trail 26-0 to the Bunnies. It is the Charity Shield on your NRL pre-season challenge right here at Foxland.
Value means more with a small McChicken meal and 6 chicken McNuggets for $7.90. This week only on the My Macca's app.
It's fair to say life has changed a bit recently. Most of us have found a bit more freedom, a bit more time for ourselves, a better balance of work and play. Because the one thing we've all learned from this unique time of life is to live. Live your own way. And life suits your teammates and in UX.
Before making a trade, check out Plus Insights, the new trading tool on Plus 500. I'll explain. Like going out to the restaurant. Plus, knowing what not to order. Should have ordered a salad.
Exclusive on Plus 500. Plus Insights. Turn data into trading insights.
Plus 500 is trading with a plus.
Download the app.
Reason? Fun. Progress isn't ego. Progress is everything.
St George Illawarra up against it. South Sydney have picked up from where they left off in season 2022. Their big guns have been on song and they have scored 4 tries to 0. A dominant 26-0 lead as we get ready to resume play here at Willow Stadium. I think we've seen a few players exit this game. The sun has returned, so that thunderstorm activity on the field was going to perhaps cool things down and has missed us. And is blowing to the north of us here in Budgie. We might get some more thunderstorm activity. There's some big clouds closing in, so we'll see if that arrives before kick-off rather full time here. And there's a random South fan. That's an impressive main serve. That's a beauty. Lots of South Sydney fans here. Cooper Crop, not much to worry about if you're a Bunnies fan to this point. St George Illawarra, though, not the same can be said for them.
Yes, South delivered exactly what we thought. Their combinations, their star players were great. 4 tries to 0 that first half. And then the Dragons, well, had more possession, more attacking ball, and had 0 points. On the flip side, defending their try line, South had 3 play the balls in the Dragons' 20-metre zone and scored 4 tries at different stages. Their edge defence, particularly Moses Sewell, looked under extreme pressure with Cody Walker and his crew coming at him. So the Dragons are under immense pressure this 40 minutes to turn around, at least change something from this performance to take them into the start of the season.
They lost last week to St Helens. Every chance they're going to be 0-2 in this pre-season period before they start the regular season with a bye. Well, Latrell Mitchell told James Zuber he was going to keep going, and that seems to be the case, that's for sure. The Dragons now, Moses Sewell. There have been suggestions he and Zach Lomax may have swapped positions. That might have been the plan. Defensive issues on the Sewell side. Perhaps they wanted to stiffen it up that side of the field. It's an ongoing problem there. Sewell was caught jamming in at least once for one of South Sydney's tries. So it continues to be warm here. The shadows just starting to creep across the ground from the grandstand here. Here we go, second half. Biggest win, 32 points a couple of years ago. And South Sydney at 26 at the moment. And St George Illawarra with first use of receive. Campbell, Graham, Kern, Colin Amatani still in the game. So lots of the guns here for South are staying out there. Maybe Moala, he might be there round 1 against Cronulla. As Woods labouring into Cook and host Kalamatani as well. Mbai moving the game now. Josh Kerr's offload. Eventually sees Frank Mola driving it close to halfway. Oh, a little outside, inside. And they can't get through to the end of the set as Jack Mitchell picks it up and brings it back to halfway. And South here. Already an opportunity. Ilias losing a decoy for Walker. And then 6 more tackles coming as Host closing in on the 20. Here's Arrow. Ilias. Caraponi there. Ravalawa has made contact with him. It comes into Arrow. That's only tackle 2. Now it comes out to the open side. Moale. We've screwed some soft ones today, but not there. Moale well handled by Woods and Murdoch Masilla. And now Shaq Mitchell. Crashed through here, South Sydney. Shaq plays it. Ilias, and if the pass was on the money, that would have been a real chance for Jacob Gagai, but it was hurried, and Gagai couldn't rule it.
The Dragons' first set, 7th error of the game, turned the ball over. A little different shape here from South Sydney. Other than left edge, Cody Walker and Latrell was locked with Ilias at the back of shape, and the pass was on. just poor execution, but really it's flipping from right side to the left to start the second half. It had an opportunity, but he gave on the chest, it would have been a try.
That's good. See 10 complete, by the way, so I haven't seen 10 brought up too many times in this pre-season challenge. That was number 11. Now Sloan. Went through Walker, he was away. Sloan out of dummy half. Little short side, Ray to Sewer with the flick. Well, it's not happening for the Dragons.
The face of Anthony Griffin says it all. 2 sets, 2 errors to start the second half. Tyrell Sloan gets down the short side. They look quite dangerous ball in hand in the first half. That Sewer Moses Sewer combination with Anthony Griffin. To start the second half. The captain's challenge.
Yeah, it didn't appear as though
The German
he
is
sort of
almost
dropped it.
gone by the Rabbitohs.
It made it brushed his waist or hip. Yeah, that's missed him.
Just looking for another angle to determine if there's a touch by the Rabbitohs or whether Moses Suli is the only knock-on.
Okay, so it's... I'm not sure anyone's touched
The
that.
ball is knocked on by Moses Suli. There is no touch from the Rabbitohs. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Okay. So that's the end of that. Am I blind? Have I missed something near Coop? I didn't see one. Anyway,
They haven't started the second half well at all because that was all 2 sets, 2 errors, and poor captain's challenge. And Anthony Griffin must be fuming today. He would have spoken about things they need to address. They just haven't gone out to execute the game plan without anything they would have spoken about in the first half. Half-time chat. Look at him.
he's been a one-man beam today. Every time they go up there, he's got an expression which says it all. Oh, that's come out now. Was it a strip? Yes, it was.
They've put the man in, his hands around the ball and ripped it out. We gave the commentators curse earlier about the good ball attack. Oh, tough one there. Gave the commentators curse in the first half about how South City just fall into sync when they start from a set starting good attack position. It should be the same again here. Just watch the flow and the combination work, particularly the spine where they get across the field and they just link with one another.
Wiley is the first to carry it forward. Arrow, the first receiver, Shaq Mitchell. Punched out 9 runs last week in the All-Stars game. Easy flat ball for Arrow, an offload now for Walker. Trouble, Walker. Still does enough, but still Walker gets it on. Ryan, we've seen his strength in defence today. He's strong enough to get over the line here. But Lomax getting underneath with a bit of help from Sloan. Walker back here, there's still some tackles to work with.
On the line, you guys. I'll let you know, Ken. We'll just wait. Right foot.
Hands on knees for some of these Dragons early in the second. Second hit up in this set. 6 more, that's a killer. It's Walker on the angle. Here's a strong run from Mitchell. Well saved. Looked like Mitchell was going to get there. That's going to be a penalty.
I understand that, but he does interfere in play. It's unfortunate, mate, but you do interfere. I love that play from South Sydney on the left. Normally they play out the back, trying to get it to Johnston, but Cody Walker speeding across, bringing back the Latrell Mitchell. That's a good tackle from James Sewers. Not many people can stop Latrell that close to the line. They were under assault here, the Dragons' defence, and that's where the penalty came.
Well, good explanation there from Peter Goff. It's unlucky for the Dragons, but that is always going to be a penalty. So we've got in by on report. Okay. Mitchell working into the line. It's his 7th run, so certainly been busy since entering the game late in the first half. Now the crossfield play.
Yes!
Morales scores. David Morales over. They're into the 30s. No signs of letting up the red and green.
Multiple tackles back to back. The penalty and a reset instead of 6. Just look at the deception here. Damien Cook looks to play on the outside of John Arrow. Malale comes straight back through the middle. Doesn't Damien Cook like it? Deception, disguise, goes out the right hand side, brings the big middle forward back through the middle. Damien Cook can sometimes look a little clunky moving around the post near the try line with his passing game, but that time, very, very well played. Nice craft from the number 9.
David Malale. To school in the NRL. Game proper, but 14 matches already, and he's 19, and they are delighted with his progress. Well, they've got 33 minutes, the Dragons, to give their fans something to look forward to get excited about. Because this, to this point, has been devastating. Now, South Sydney have equalled the biggest margin in Charity Shield in history, and every chance while the guns are on to extend the margin further. Down to James Hooper.
Enormous raps on this young man, Davey Malale. He's only 19 years of age, a South Sydney local junior from the Coogee Randwick Wombats Club. And when he debuted in the hardest position on the field, front row, as a teenager, and handle it, clearly you've got to be a little bit special. So, big things expected on the Dragons. Anthony Griffin at halftime, a very direct appraisal. He has challenged the Dragons to make an attitude adjustment. Clearly we haven't seen that yet. He said South Sydney look as though they want it more, and they have great desire.
Geez, that's always stark, isn't it, when a coach basically says you're not having a go. Don't forget Penrith Helens, the big one. That's coming up after this game. Actually, the Drew spoke, I believe we're going to head to Penrith. A little scene setter there as Baker Post comes through. Or rather, that's John Arrow in the 12. There's now Cook up to halfway. So get through yet another set. That'll be 21 from 25. Not usually known as an efficient side in that regard, South Sydney. Slide under pressure, and Walker barrels it. There's a strong bit of contact. It's going to be a very real question for the next couple of weeks. What will the Dragons do with the number 1 position? Seems as though it was Tyrell Sloan's, that was the plan through the pre-season, and that may continue to be the case. Here's a penalty. No, yes, it's a penalty to St George Illawarra. But just for a moment, I thought Peter Goff was going the other way. It's been Lovett in the headgear today. Didn't wear headgear last week, I don't believe, but that extra bit of protection.
Talk about the fullback spot. Ramsey with his health issues at the moment. That thing on your screen, Tyrone Sloan, has a lot of talent, a lot of top shelf talent, but his fundamentals of the game he needs to improve, particularly with that David Malale try. He was around that area, he should have been in a position to make a tackle.
Sullivan. Phil Mayerno in the game. Here comes to Sloan. What's he got? He's got Lomax. Lomax, though, handled. Cash first, and then Graham. So both the starting centres in the same portion of the field now. Well, it's starting for him in South Sydney. Just want to get through this game unscathed. The trial last year saw it miss 5 weeks. Oh, he's into that from Moses Mbai, and the Dragons finally on the board. Moses Mbai out of dummy half. And finally something for the Red Bird.
The penalty they got, that's the field position. man, most of them started playing 6, moved into dummy halfway through that first half. Comes out the short side and Lachlan Ilias just turns out completely on Murdoch Basilla. He gave up his inside shoulder. That's a poor read from the halfback. And Damien Cook 1-on-1. And most of them can't hold him. But talk about defensive, but I don't think Jason Demetri is going to be happy with that. Most of them nice little dummy to Big Matt Grower and Lachlan Ilias too.
So it took 50 minutes, but the Red gets there first. Moses Mbai, question on the spot. Where does he best slot into this team? He can play all these different positions. What do you reckon?
He's solid. There's no doubt Moses can cover a lot of positions. Starting 6, moved into 9. He's played fullback before for the Dragons. But I think it depends on what Sloan or Jaden Sullivan do. Like, can these young kids grab their opportunity to take it? His probably best position is 14. The ability to come on and play multiple positions at different stages. But I think it depends on what the young kids do. The young kids can really grasp their opportunity and grow and be that link and support to Ben Hunt. And Moses Mbai might be on the bench, but if not, it'll be the fix for one of those spots.
Plenty of Palms football, particularly on Canterbury. Actually, our first shot of the day. Got it. 52 points to 6 by Jameson.
On Moses Mbai, and the plan over the course of the off-season was he was going to play dummy half. He was going to share that responsibility with new recruit Jacob Little. But then with Junior Ramon suspended, Jack Bird also sustaining a knee injury in the pre-season. Jaden Sullivan is playing today, but has had hamstring issues, so that's how he ended up at 5'8".
Yeah, and Little is a live wire, but not exactly an 80-minute player, so they're going to need that 14, aren't they? Someone to fill that role, whether it's Mbai, whether it's Sullivan. There's Matt brings it back with force. In the dummy half roll. 28 minutes to go. Just go for a dart. Hunt now at dummy half. James Musgrove. Spent some time in South. Laurie. Now for hard on Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Through a fair bit of game time today, Ben Murdoch-Masilla. The high ball up by Hunt for a contest. Not the easiest catch, but well handled, Jacob Gagai. This is Josiah Karapani, young centre. And he'd like that over. He'd like that one over. So the Dragons enjoying a good little period here. Now they've got a chance for back-to-back tries.
Options there to challenge it. Just think Moses Mbai.
Yeah.
Referees claiming that South have moved off the mark and therefore Moses Mbai was holding his ground. So time's elapsed. Big Dragons scrum. Let's see what they can do here. So they load up with the short side. And then Tyrell Sloan trying to use his skill and speed to the short side.
Oh, Sloan! Yes, puts the foot down, but hauled in by Cody Walker. That was a dynamic bit of footwork and pace off the mark. So that's encouraging from Tyrell Sloan. Oh, that's a hard shot there. Sullivan wears one from Arrow. Right into the midriff. Yeah, that's winded him. Sullivan goes down again. Laurie. Just over the 10. Now back for Hunt. Oh, another hard one there. Walker. Sullivan appeared to fall into that. So, empathy from Peter Goff, but a penalty nonetheless. So that was Moale, the first one. It was the first tackle. Notice from our angle that Moale contact. It was Walker giving the penalty away. So the Dragons. They were sloppy at dummy half, but they continue. Yeah, they did pick up that in by knock on. That's a waste for the Dragons. Can't challenge, they burned it.
There's a bobble there. Yeah, that's a knock on. Every day of the week.
I
Can't use it around.
don't think he would have won a
No chance.
challenge there.
Again, it's the pressure passing, whether it's the clunkiness of the movement and combinations of the Dragons' attack, short pass in the line, for the rushing defence of South Sydney get up and cause sort of stress and agitation amongst the attack. A good movement for South Sydney. It's a good sign of defending their line, but in terms of the Dragons' attack, again, just no rhythm and very clunky.
So 33 degrees right now in Nudgee with 33% humidity. The rain we're expecting, well, as you can see, it's not present. One storm missed us and another one looks like it might miss us as well. Murray distributing. He's already been kicked for a forward pass and that one picked up as well. Bit tardy today, Damien Cook with those dummy half balls.
It's funny, like Cam Murray back in the contest, a nice little touch gave Jairo that could play the ball again. He was up late advantage line before the forward pass and had Cody Walker on the inside. So with fatigue starting to set in the middle forwards defensively for the Dragons, that menu screen along with the combination of Cam Murray really might be able to get some front foot footing for some of the star players and rack up a few points here in the back, because it's one area the Dragons have not done well today. That's the middle third defensively.
Time to right off. Look, a bull rider there, Graham was tossed aside. Well, there's a heavy shot. Arrows brought the heat in his second half. That was Blake Laurie knocked off his feet. St Musgrove now. 26-0 at the break. 6-6. Sullivan with a run. You heard the sound for a new set. Little back in the contest. Hunt pulling it in. Bert Masilla loves an offload. Hunt picking it up. Now it's sent out here to Stewart. Throws a bullet to Ravalawa. Haven't seen much of Ravalawa since he had a try disallowed in the first half. Oh, 6 more tackles coming. Stewart, oh, does he know? He mustn't know. Oh, 20-metre tap, 7 tackles set.
I'm not sure what to say about that there, because the ball's just hit the deck, 7 tackles set, reset. Jaden Stewart, nothing doing, and all he decided is try to ignite the attack by kicking the ball dead, making his team tackle again. But that whole set of 6 sums up the Dragons' performance here this afternoon.
Well, you could see where Peter Goff was in that replay earlier for a split second. He wasn't that far away from Jaden, so you imagine Jaden should have heard the 6-again call. As it said, that all Graham lost it. Gee, Souths are getting very loose in their second half. Yet again, the Dragons presented with some pretty good field position here.
Captain's challenge. South challenging on field ruling with a knock-on.
Looked like a knock-on first replay, first viewing, but we wait to see now.
Rabbitohs are challenging the rule of a knock-on, looking to see if the ball is knocked forward by Campbell Graham.
Now, it's off Moga, then Graham's lost a little.
Campbell Graham knocks the ball forward at this point and never regains possession before it's contacted by a Dragons player. And challenge is unsuccessful.
So, that's it. Here Sutton can put the feet up for a while. We only need him in the bunker for big ones. If there's a try scored, no more challenges left.
That's what normally happens in this pre-season challenge. Towards the back quarter of most games, some inexperienced younger players come on the field. There's some drop balls. We saw last night's games, and again in the last 5 minutes of this contest. A lot of errors. Now South Sydney have already showed us what they can do. It's really up to the Dragons to knuckle down and jump on the opportunities that South Sydney have given here in the last couple of minutes, particularly that knock-on from Campbell Graham.
White tap in the game now in the 14 jersey for South. To Sully. Slow, Burgess up top. Middle to Sullivan. Sullivan to Hunt. Hunt across field. Sloan now into Murdoch-Masilla. Just up to the 20. As it goes across the line here, this is Slicky Sullivan. Chance, Sullivan scores. Dragons go back to back, and Jaden Sullivan has a nice little moment.
Nice little touch there from Jaden Sullivan, but I like what they did. Shift the ball out to the left-hand side. Another big elaborate play to the right-hand side. The man with the speed and acceleration sliced up the defence of South Sydney because it was split wide, sideline to sideline, through the dummy. Cody Walker fell for it and just went straight through. But the fact that the Dragons were playing sideline to sideline, then Jaden Sullivan got the ball out the back, threw a dummy, dropped it back a gear, hit the accelerator. That's the reason why he went through. So smart play there from the young man.
So 32-0 becomes 32-10. And Jaden Sullivan, 4 first-grade tries for him in his 15-game career. It's going to be in the 17 somewhere, you imagine. The question is where. So I'm about to have a drinks break here as we've now crossed the 60-minute mark. Well, that expression hasn't changed all that much. Drives it through, 2 from 2 for him. There, they've got something to cheer about the Dragons fans. Trying to join an afternoon here at Mudgee, watching some NRL plays go around. 32-12, time for a drinks break, and of course we're getting ready for the big one. That's at Penrith, and that's where we go to Matt Russell.
Very short pre-season, but tonight the footy's back. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling really good. I'm very happy that the footy's back. Obviously, it's been a short but tough pre-season. They don't get any easier, so definitely have to be back out here in front of our home fans and obviously presented with a unique opportunity to first St Helens and really look forward to it.
A unique opportunity indeed. In some respects, it is a pre-season trial. In another aspect, it is a World Club Challenge. What have Penrith players made of this?
Oh, it's definitely more than a trial for us. World Club Challenge don't come around too often, and Penrith as a club has never won one. So, we said it was a great challenge. Obviously, St Helens have won 4 comps in a row, but we also said it was a great opportunity to do something special. So, definitely looking forward to it.
Good luck, Nathan.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Matty Russell. And we'll be there after this game.
I think the big thing about the Dragons, they look quite clunky this afternoon. They try to play the power game with the ball in hand and haven't got the leg speed or the quick play the balls. But when they have looked okay, it's when the second phase. The offload, singing out to their centres with Lomax and Sully. Now, it's unreliable the style playing offload football against good defensive teams, but all of the Dragons can play sort of lateral football with offload and get the ball to their centres and then quick plays with Sloan and Sullivan. I think that could be a style, but they have to be very effective with their hands to choose the right time because it's a style that doesn't hold up under pressure, but that's the way they've looked the best this afternoon.
Yeah, 14 offloads now. 21 tackles in the South, 20 South, just 11 at the other end. Similar percentage really tackles in the opposition half. So it's not as if they haven't had field position. Tyrell Sloan. Wouldn't mind a good last 20 minutes here just to perhaps solidify that #1 spot. He's had some testing moments this afternoon. Just on that World Club Challenge, a lot of the Penrith players, most of the guns, it's their first game since the World Cup. St Helens, we saw they're for real. They're not out here just to get a suntan, spend a fortnight in Manly. What chance do you give the team from the Northern England against the team that possibly could be rusty?
Well, St Helens looked good in the first sort of 15 minutes against the Dragons last week. Couple of James Roby dictated turns and Rollsby at the back. So their attack looked pretty slick, but I dare say the best defensive team we've got, Penrith in the competition, will work out a way to shut down the St Helens attack.
Yeah, they might be rusty, but it's a damn good looking team, the Penrith team. Cooper Cronk, by the way, a two-time World Club Challenge champion. That's on his business card. And by the way, the game after Brisbane North Queensland. I don't know if you've seen the team the Cowboys have presented. You would think someone's told them they're playing for 2 points. It's an awesome looking team they've presented. Oh, Tyrell Sloan. Now he gets into the clear. Oh, he almost gets through the ball. Look out, Latrell now. He winds up. He gets up to halfway. Well, it's all of a sudden opened up here at Nudging. There's Tom Burgess. Bustle and Tyrell through with Mayano out of the way. If the Dragons scored there, it would be, I hope Ben Lovett gets through. Starting to think repeat of last night where the Roosters, in a short space of time, created a bit of a contest against Manly. Manly impressive in that win. South Sydney impressive for most of this contest. Now it's fired out. Walker, left foot step. He's over. And it doesn't take South Sydney long to hit back. Walker gets his second. Gets a lot of doubles, Cody Walker, and he's got one today in the Charity Shield.
And put that down to Jacob Gagai. It was Gagai that chased back, got the ankle tap on Sloan just before he kicked it. And they get the ball down here, and just watch Cody Walker. Big left foot step, another one, and again, straight through the heart of the Dragons' defence. Now, Anthony Griffin seems to be an old school coach where the middle forwards, it's the grunt, it's the end room, and you must be able to defend. This afternoon, South Sydney have scored 4 tries. That's the 4th, straight through the heart of the defence of the Dragons, and that's one thing that he has to fix up. Might be lucky that the Dragons had to buy in round 1, but there's an area they have to fix up. But as you said there, Cody Walker, the time and space on the left-hand side, just was playing, was toying with the man, left foot, and went straight back through and found a lazy defender, not filling the space, and put the ball down at 6.
2 tries apiece in their second half now as Mitchell lights another one through. 38-12. 16 and a half minutes. 50, I don't believe has ever been achieved in the Charity Shield. No, that biggest winning margin of 48-16, 32 points, that 48 is the highest score by South Sydney or the Dragons in this concept, in this game. It's 40 years old. There's a couple of very, very accomplished players. Geez, they've got some young players, haven't they, the St Helens outfit. Apparently, all week, not acknowledge the hood. Just said, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to pretend it's not there.
The old trip to Canberra in the middle of winter. It's not cold, never mention the word.
many games has James Roby played now? 500?
500 something.
Max, your mate Cam Smith will got a wuss.
He's been a star, James Roby, in the Super League competition.
Hasn't he just? It's a fair 4 comps in a row. Getting into sort of wicked in the 80s and 90s territory. Carlaw as now, tell you what, we can't complain about the Stars and their minutes today. They're starting to disappear. But 65 minutes for a lot of them. That's excellent for a trial game. Dragons down, gifted a chance. Little football. Shortest one run here. It was basic footwork, chopped down though. Deontay Harper. It was so impressive last week making the tackle. Now Hunt shows it. Oh, delightful pass. Back there. Saloon passage to the line. There's a beauty from Ben Hunt. And that's 3 tries now for the Dragons.
That was magical from Ben Hunt. Finished 3rd in the Dalian last year. And have a look at this. Shift all the way to the other side and a big elaborate dummy that holds up South Sydney's defence. And Richard Kenner takes the bait. South Sydney winger comes in. Ben Hunt, big shot underneath, and then a big pull pass over the top. Sets a try for Fino, but Ben Hunt, that was beautiful ball play. Knew what he was doing, held it up, toyed with him. Defensive winger took it. Beautiful pass over the top.
That Fino, nice little finish, not that he had much to do there. Certainly less to do than that wonderful try he scored against the Broncos last year. One of the tries of the season. So he really has cemented a spot, hasn't he, on the Dragons' wing. And that makes us his toughest. So drop the distance on that. Doesn't look like he gets that flush, but they're effective enough. 3-3. 38 points to 18. Here's James Hooper.
And South Sydney coach Jason Demetriou has seen enough for the afternoon. Yanni's put the Ferraris in the garage. No more Latrell Mitchell, no more Campbell Graham, no more Damien Cook. And as you touched on, a super showing from those players over the course of 65 minutes. The Bunnies, they look on target for a big season. And now the chance to see some of their generation next players. Peter Mamazulis will play dummy half. Then you've also got the likes of Terrell Carlo, Josiah Karapani. They're all names of the future.
They sure are. Lee Hoops. I'll tell you what, South, their first game, one of the matches of the round. That's a round that starts Parramatta Melbourne with a barnstorm at Combank. That's your Thursday night game. The Dolphins debuting Sunday afternoon at Suncorp against the Roosters. We're all watching that one to see how the new crop goes. But South Cronulla, Saturday night at Shark Park, that's a beauty.
Sharks be really out straight sets last year, had a great consistent season. They come up against South in that game, and South were electric. They were very, very good.
South pummeled them in that final to end the Cronulla season, but it's down in the Shire. It's a kick that will find the line. So 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go. We've remarked on South and Jason Demetriou giving his guns plenty of game time, and surely fans here in Mudgee appreciate that. Ben Hunt, that's probably the end of him, but 68 minutes, his afternoon's work. Picking up from where he left off, it seems some very good moments for Ben Hunt in a badly beaten team. Ken Murray is continuing on. That's halves out of dummy half. Cook punished a couple of times. Barbazellos perhaps getting away with that. There's Murray Hall put down. Dion Tarapa. That's the man that drops that one. He missed it last week. Electric in the first half against Manly. A couple of ripping tries. That's Michael Chukan there, veteran now. Be pretty happy with you, Jason Demetrio, from what he's seen this afternoon.
Normally don't see Ken Murray have a bad pass when he's playing back to his ball play, but when he moves, plays around, young Talpa comes in. The movement of Talpa out the back of shape might be different to Cody. So Ken Murray's so used to the silky smooth movement of Cody Walker. He got that pass wrong. Young Talpa just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, Murray has openly said that's probably the worst quarter pass of the day. It's unfortunate. It's Michael Molo there. Yeah, Murray said still very much open to rugby background. He signed up till 2025 though, so you haven't going anywhere for a while, Cameron Murray.
Do not let Cameron Murray leave your game. From South Sydney, he is the future of that club. I know there's some stars. I know there's Latrell and Cody and Damien Cook, but Cam Murray right now is a really top shelf, one of the best players in that competition for all parts of it. Performance, skill, reputation, great ambassador for our game, so do not let him go across.
The Bunnies now back on the attack. Cheekan. Played all three fumbles last year, Michael Cheekan. Tom Burgess. And the Zellos still away. Murray. Always has those hands out in front, ready to pass, and he does pass. Ball on here by Junior Totola. 2 tackles left. So well-read play there. In by all over Tom Fletcher. The last year of Alawa under it. Trying to balk him there was Tass, and it might be mission accomplished. Yeah, it is a knock-on in goal, so Tass there just sticking the arm out. Making life a little bit more difficult for Michaeli Ravalawa.
Well, called there, that made him blink and he dropped the ball because it looked like it was going to be a simple catch for Ravalawa. Tass just did enough. Watch this, gets through the blockers, puts his hand up. Ravalawa should have taken that.
Isaiah Tass, 16 games last year. Played in the All-Stars last week. His game continues to rise. Burgess, his 11th run. Murray down the middle. Tries to do it on his own. Almost does. 4 of them needed to stop it. Comes here. This is Carlo. 19-year-old Glenmore Park rugby. Murray, a little flat-footed here, and Malala still with the strength in the legs to drag those defenders along. And on the last is Tiapa and Ravalawa. Might have been better off letting that go. I think he knows he probably could have let that one go.
Too cautious, think there. Dropped the chocolates last time. This one here, he didn't want to misread it, but he thought that was definitely going over the draw line.
Restart. Oh, he's up there trying to make up for it too, and he almost did. Geez, that'd be hard in mouth stuff. You've got a long drop out coming towards you. You've got big Michaeli Ravalawa bearing down. South though, back inside the 10. Jack Mitchell. Garba onto Blake Tapp. Rabazellos. Just for a split second, looked like he was going to get there. Jack Mitchell here. And an offload, but he's not a miracle man. He's happy to play in front of the posts. And working on the Murray side. Chicken. 101st grade game. Won that prelim final last year. Short side. Oh, tap Crafty. It's a try. Jacob Gagai of a lower drop. A clever kick from Blake Taff. And sets into the 40s.
Yep, Ravalawa. Another drop from a 3 sets for South Sydney. And as you caught, look at this. Not much going on the left-hand short side. Blake Taff steps off the left in the same movement, puts a nice rubber kick into the in-goal. The speed at which it bounced put Ravalawa under pressure. And Jacob Gagai gets it. He's had a couple of nice plays this afternoon, Jacob Gagai. Got the ankle tap on Sloan, he got the backfield, got the ball back for the Cody Walker try. And then again, bounced on that, but pressure on Ravalawa. Great work from Taff. Well done, Gagai.
So, yes, brother of Dane, Jacob Gagai, 26 years of age. Like Taff's hardly put a football in this pre-season period. He did some nice things last week in Gosford. Jacob.
Can I be Steve?
Part of these games last year.
Huh? No, why? Can't you just shut up?
Still a possibility here, but hang on. Was he onside, Jacob Gagai? This might be what they're looking at here. Now he's got the all clear. Yes, he was onside.
Finished in role that Taff plays this year. He's got the 14 jersey on today. His role going
Gosh, the Dragons suck.
Dynamic spine. Can he be like a bit hit player for Damien Cook at different stages of 9? Can he support Cody Walker 6 in the... So it'll be interesting to see his role when he plays.
No good. So 24. There's Cam Murray. Finally, he's been given a rest. South Sydney, set of players, Tane Milner in the background, William Knight, Harvey Sell there. There's some of the few players, Saliba Havili as well, unavailable for round 1. But that's about it. It's a pretty strong lineup that will take on Cronulla. They're going to jinx it like last night, but looks like both of the players, pretty much all of them today, will have got through, certainly to this point anyway. Penrith, St Helens, that's our next game. We're back to the Clive Churchill studio after this to build it all up with Bonnie and Mick Ennis and Corey Parker. I think I might have you in the studio at one point, Coop, but Corey Parker and Mick Ennis doing the hard yards this afternoon here at Fox League with Von. And then tomorrow, 4 games, end of those 4-game Sundays. Get to see the Dolphins again. Take on the Gold Coast. There's a kick for Taff. Plenty of height on this distance as well. Sloan. Been a better second half for Tyrell Sloan, hasn't it, Coop?
He's improved in different places, but he still needs to become more consistent. Had 2 errors on the top in the first half, and there was also that defensive lapse. However, for a while they scored the second
Go
half,
Panthers
so
tonight.
there's no doubt this kid can
Say
get
it.
that feeling, he can line up and
Say
down
it.
with one touch. But
Just say you
there's
come
something
on.
to work for him in the next
You don't say you
Dolphins
suck.
get those high percentage players becoming more consistent in all areas of the game.
Are you going out?
Dan Russell, 22 for St George Illawarra. The Queenslander. Oh, hello, here's a run for Burns, and now Little is away and scored. And the Dragons get over again. So all 4 tries now are coming the second half, and it's Little. As he gets ahead of the pack, he is impossible to stop.
Again, it's one thing I've been harping on all afternoon is the quick play the ball. They get their, one of the very few quick play the balls, Little is out, causing havoc, gets across field, throws a nice long pass to Burns, hit the hole and then backs up. There's one thing that Anthony Griffin needs to do. Here it is, quick play the ball, build out, retreat defence, pull it pass, Burns hit the hole. There's one thing that Anthony Griffin needs to do between now and round 2 on that Sunday afternoon, which will be their first game, is how they develop a power game through the middle third and generate quick play the balls for the likes of Bill or Ben Hunt in particular to get sort of Tyrell
So,
in the game.
okay, so there's about 2 minutes to full time.
So 24 now for the Dragons, 42-24. Just to make a bird of these stats, neither of these sides can win the 100 grand, but 7 line breaks to 6, so they're both going to get a bonus point there. South with the 5th try, they've got 7, so they get a bonus point. Offloads, Dragons have a bonus point. They had 15 offloads to 7. They're unofficial stats, but they all look pretty clear cut. Manly 29 points, by the way. They were a couple of offloads short last night of closing the whole thing down. So there's 4 clubs that can still win it. Warriors are one of them. St Helens are one of them. And there's 2 others. Bulldogs.
Who's the other one?
I can't remember.
Did well around a lot though. I lost you when you said line breaks.
Well, 5 line breaks gets a bonus point. You've been listening to us drop it into you for 2 weeks.
Absolutely I have.
These next 2.5 minutes might be important to some. Margin 18, 66 points this afternoon. That might be, I think that is the highest scoring Charity Shield. There we go. We're talking about possible records. Biggest margin, long gone. Oh, there's a collar. That's a heavy tackle. Tom Fletcher, the boy from Commander. All kept in play though. Michael Moore. They had games in the top grade last year. South in their bench, they have used all 26. Dragons, they've left a few without game time. As it comes out here to Tau Moga. Almost up to the 20. Oh, he did well to get the offload. The ball was straight to an opponent there, Richie Kenner. The next time we see these 2 clubs, it'll be in the NRL. South Sydney in 14 days against Cronulla. Dragons have to wait another week, and then they take on the Gold Coast. And Zelos didn't get the 6 again, I think he was hoping for there. With 1 minute left in this game. Zara is feeding it on. Cheeky on the last. Might as well try something. Trying to go down the middle with Mitchell, but we're wrapped up at the end of the last set of the game. Jack Mitchell, 11 runs for him, so quite prolific. Tries for the Dragons, Fernay, Embai, Little, Sullivan. South Sydney, double for Walker. Troy Mitchell, Burgess, Arrow, Moale, and Jacob Gagai. Now, that is a dog breakfast, but hello, Burns, goes to the line. Phantom Siren is here at Mudgee. The Phantom Siren makes an appearance. What a boy. Maybe Skulls here somewhere too. Here it comes now from the fullback's line, and that is the end of that. The trophy once again, the Shield is South Sydney's. They have won the Charity Shield for the 7th time in 8 years. An emphatic first half lays the platform for a 42-24 victory.
Okay, we'll just have full time and we'll get ready shortly.